And so we move into the 2024 budget, and it's received knocks from left, right, and center. A few days ago, we had the Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, addressing it as well.
Yep.
And in his statement on his X account, he says he's still going through the budget, and he really thinks, he's wondering what is wrong. You know, and so here we are. The PRP chairman is also speaking and saying that this budget, as submitted, is definitely not looking out for the welfare of Nigerians. In the last week, cast glances at the budget allocation for wealth, looked at the allocation for the educational sector, and we're saying it's a far cry from what is expected. Comrade, what's your stance on Nigerian 2024 budget as submitted?
I think before I even put my mouth to say a word, I think the people who know me and the audience we have as Nigerians already know my response. There's no stance. The stance I've got is the quivering feet and hands. I'm shivering because why? I ask myself, is this what we're going to do for 365 days going forward? Look, we are having an economic crunch. We are having that is bastardized economy already as it is. We are complaining of virtually everything, no funds anywhere. Now our refineries, all of them are in comatose. The Dangote refinery that we're counting, we're putting it hope on to say, okay, if the products are refined properly in that quantity, I think Dangote refinery stands to be the second largest refinery in the world on commencement. If that kind of Mungo size of refinery is now domiciled here in Nigeria, and it produces, because Nigeria is supposed to be the first point of call for service, and upon that note, bill of landing, transportation and all should not be factored into the cost of the commodity, as it were. Now the Dangote refinery is almost becoming a Nigerian government project, which will almost not see the light of day again, because people have come to knock them on different corners, believing that this is a conglomeration of the Nigerian oligarchy class putting something together under the OAS and these guys of Dangote. With all due respect to the billionaire, the businessman, but this is a political analysis and this is a view from public parlance. Now, in the light of all of this, we're talking about a budget that does not factor into it the education. Look, the president some days back talked about how this government wants to make education colorful and blossoming. And I've said, I've written my little documents to let them understand there is no magic wand. The only magic wand is to be given to the honorable representing Eastern East from Edo State, Honorable Julius, who came up with the magic wand bill. Regulation of public officers and their awards on educational, medical matters and educational matters. Listen, until you use someone's toilet or the toilet you have made available for people to use, that toilet you might not care about how it functions. Until you go to the market where every other person goes, you might not care how the market prices and values, the prices fluctuate. Many of these people are so wealthy now that they just give their cooks some humongous amounts of money, tell them to prepare 2 pots of soup, and the cooks prepare something so delicious, because in Nigeria and local parlance say soup when sweet and better money kill am. You just come and you eat fat and eat well, because that money to you does not matter anything. But if you now start going to the market and now know that you were buying a kilo of chicken at some time in this country, 1-3 as far as 2015, and on May 29th, when 2023, when Tinubu was coming in, you were buying a kilo of chicken at 2,300, and now that Tinubu has come into power for 6 months, you begin to buy a kilo of chicken at 3.6 or 3.7. Then you will now understand the way the fluctuation, the way it is accelerating, and you now know what it is for a salary earner whose salary has not been adjusted or increased by any standards. Ask yourself, virtually all landlords, all property owners have increased rentage all over Nigeria. Even if you are staying in a low-cost house of 280,000 naira as a self-contained as you were before, you know what it is right now. You're staying in a 1-bedroom, you're staying in a 2-bedroom. Now, ask yourself, this hike of living automatically, by itself, just bets corruption. By itself, just bets what? Corruption. Because whether you like it or not, people must survive. They say water must find its level. There is a place somebody knows I cannot just sit down here and die. The Holy Book says, the 4 lepers said, if we stay here, we will die. Why don't we just move forward? And they had to move. That's where we are heading in Nigeria. And we mustn't get to that point where the people now find a reason to be united in violence, or a reason to be united in a fearful protest. Because at the end of the day, you and I might not even be safe, because the people that are below the belt right now are even more. Whether we like it or yes, government is failing on all spheres, and budgets and elections are supposed to bring some level of hope, some sigh of relief, to say we have more good persons one way or the other infused in the system. We have a better hope because of the policy direction in agriculture or in education or whatever we look at it. But when we see these things and know that it is the usual norm, enriching the circles or cabals on people in power by the budgetary allocations, then there's more scare going forward. Because I, for one, I just hope and believe that whether we like it or yes, let's just trust God for the miraculous for the Nigerian people. Outside of that, if it is this government and these policies and this budget we're looking at, that upon which we are analyzing now, there's little or no hope for the average Nigerian.